All right, Overwatch Season 11 comes. New buffs, new nerfs, new skins, all that goodness. Will it be enough to save Overwatch? Because last season was not very good. Let's go find out. So we're going to go watch KarQ's video since he details every change. So if you haven't followed KarQ, go do that. Very top tier videos. But let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see who's good, who's bad, what the meta
Season 11 of
might
Super
be.
Mega Ultra Watch is here, and let's of course begin with the balance changes first.
Yes.
For the first general change of the season, the knockdown time when two charging abilities collide is going to be reduced from 2 to 1.7 seconds.
I mean, I guess that's kind of a buff for both. I mean, Reinhardt is, you know, the big deterrent of always getting knocked down with his pins. So I think it's like a tiny buff to Reinhardt overall. So it's kind of nice. Reinhardt definitely needs some help. I enjoy playing Rein, but he's always got cucked by almost every ability on the game. So that's nice.
The devs say that the stun time reduction applies to the knockdown that happens when two charging abilities collide and result in a tie. So that's Reinhardt charge, Doomfist rocket.
Well, I need to move my camera a little bit so it's not in the middle of all these wordings for you guys. Yeah, there we go.
Punch, Brig Shield Bash, Mauga Overrun, and Bob. The counterplay and interaction of two charging abilities impacting each other is great, but it took both players out of the fight a little too long. For
That's
D.Va,
true.
her weapon spread is going to be reduced from 3.75 to 3.375 degrees. For the boosters, the impact damage is going to be increased from 15 to 25.
Okay, so D.Va buffs.
The devs comment that these changes will improve D.Va's effectiveness against smaller targets, as she became less effective against armored targets in the previous patch. For Junker Queen's Noif, she now pulls tanks further back.
Okay, definitely need some JQ buffs. I'm down for a JQ meta if, you know, it can make it happen. So pulls tanks further. I mean, this is good for getting people into the pit. So now you can probably use JQ on well and probably like counter hog a little bit more. Because before, like, you'd pull them like 1 inch and then you'd go nowhere. So now with it being a little bit more, you can probably get more environmental kills, which is pretty nice. What's up, bad guy?
And the Rampage startup time is going to be reduced from 0.75 to 0.5 seconds. The devs comment that
that's
the
good.
tank knockback resistance passive was affecting Junker Queen's knife pull more than intended. While the distance can be affected by their movement, tanks are now actually pulled in about 5 to 6 meters instead of only 3 meters or so before. Orissa's javelin spin cooldown.
It's also pretty good for her ulti because it got countered. You know, you're standing still, so Cassidy freaking Hinder could do it at any spear, honestly, any CC. So it going faster, just a nice little buff. But it didn't seem like there was too much to any damage or anything. So, I mean, don't know if it's enough to make her meta, but you know, those are nice buffs overall.
Cooldown is going to be reduced from 9 to 8 seconds. The devs comment that Orissa's
Little buff.
survivability was reduced more than necessary in her last round of changes, so we're partially reverting the cooldown increase to Javelin Spin. For Roadhog, his base health is going to be reduced by 50, so he's now at 750.
Okay, this is massive. Definitely needed some Hog nerfs. Hog was too dang good in the last season and for way too long. So, very good change. Yeah, finally some Hog nerfs. Okay, let's see anything else.
HP and roll Q, and Roadhog's take a breather damage reduction is going to be reduced from 50% to 40%.
Okay, this is also very good because in addition, because Roadhog and Malga are probably the two tanks that got the most benefit from the 25% reduction to headshot damage. So now, like, when he had that and then they had to take a breather reduction, it was just like, dude, the dude was unkillable for most of the time. So definitely need some nerfs. I think this is good. It's not too much, right? Only 10%. Mauga probably needs a little bit of a nerf too this patch, so we'll see if they nerf Mauga as well. But I think this is good. It's not like too crazy, but it's just like, you know, little by little they're nerfing it, not super, you know, over the top.
The devs comment that Roadhog's already powerful survivability increased significantly with the headshot damage reduction from the tank roll passive. So these changes are to help bring that back in line. For Cass's weapon, the secondary fire fan, the hammer damage is going to be reduced from 50 to 45 per.
No! Yo, right click Randy, get it in a nerf. Dude, that's all I could do. Tank mains can't aim. but this is also a small buff to Reinhardt, right? Because for Ryan, somebody would just go cast and just right click your shield forever. So reducing the damage keeps your shield up a little bit more. So, I mean, all these things so far have been like little tiny buffs.
Bullet. Magnetic Grenade is gone. It is now replaced with Flashbang. So Overwatch 1 players, you're familiar with this. Although it doesn't stun like it used to. It still hinders people, but for 1.2 seconds, the movement speed reductions increase from 30 to 50%. The hinder now prevents crouching movement. It does 45 explosive damage and is on a 12-second cooldown. For combat roll, the damage reduction is going to be reduced from 75% to 50%. For Deadeye, the movement speed penalty now scales down over time from 70% to 35%, so the longer you hold it, the faster you move. And the damage reduction now scales down over time from 40% to 0%. All right.
Wow, that is insane cast. Honestly, I feel like it was kind of like a bunch of cast nerfs. I guess Cass was one of like the top tier DPS characters. Magnetic Grenade, definitely annoying. Flashbang coming back, you know, I mean, at least it's not homing, so it takes a little bit more skill where you have to aim it, and at least it doesn't stun. It's just another hinder. So yeah, there is like the AoE tender, so yeah, if people are all like grouped up, then they'll all get hit by it. But that good, bad? I don't know. I guess we'll have to play some cast to see how it is. But I think overall people are going to be happy that Magnetic Grenade is out because that was just no skill. And at least it doesn't fully stun though, right? So you can't just like flashbang over a Rhine shield and then stun him. It's just like a slow, so you can still hold shield and keep it going.
Big dev comment here on why they changed Mag Grenade. First, we're reverting the Mag Grenade ability to be deployed like Cassidy's previous flashbang ability, but it will keep the hinder effect instead of a full stun. We've heard feedback surrounding the Mag Grenade ability and agree, while the fantasy of a homing grenade was fun, the moment-to-moment gameplay of it felt too unpredictable as to whether it would land or not. The hinder effect has been a useful tool to act as a counter to highly mobile heroes without going back to a full stun and the enemy player losing the ability to fight back. The Deadeye ultimate is getting an adjustment to increase its flexibility toward the end of its duration, enabling it to get value outside of buying time for Cass or his allies, although it may be riskier to hold it for a long time as the damage reduction will fade away along with the movement speed penalty. For Mei's Endothermic Blaster, the Icicle...
Honestly, I think that changes to Deadeye, that's pretty nice. I mean, if you're holding it for a long time anyways, you have like the hit marker on them, so they're just going to be hiding, and you'd be able to move faster. You can actually maybe catch people around a corner or something like that. So I think overall the Deadeye changes are pretty nice. The damage reduction on the roll is pretty crazy, so I think you probably died a pulse now. So that's a big nerf, but I think overall those are some pretty solid changes for him.
Projectile size is going to be reduced by 0.03 meters. However, the damage of it will be increased from 75 to 85. The devs comment that Mei's damage output over time is intended to be on the low end for a damage hero, as she offers strong utility and survivability through her ability kit, but we would like to make her secondary fire icicle more rewarding by increasing the damage and making it slightly more difficult to land consistently. For Reaper, the Hellfire...
I mean, yeah, I think that's probably a better trade-off, making a character more skillful and doing more damage, right? I think like nobody can really hate on that, because that's just like, oh, I just need to get better with aiming, and then the character does more damage, right? That's like, honestly, if they gave Reinhardt like a smaller hitbox on Fire Strike but increase the damage, I would totally want that, right? More damage for your character just puts that at a higher skill cap, which you would want while playing the character, right? So I think, you know, everyone, there's no way that any Mei player or anybody like would hate on that change. So yeah, I think that's, you know, gonna be annoying overall, because you can destroy tanks faster because they have the bigger hitboxes, but it will be harder to hit like Tracer and stuff like that.
Our shotguns, the weapon spread is going to be reduced from 6.5 to 6 degrees, a tighter spread is a buff. And Shadow Step Teleport, the cast time is going to be reduced from 1.5 to 1.2 seconds.
Reaper buffs. Why they buffing the anti-fun characters for tanks? Bro, tanks were already pissed. Now they buffed Mei, right? Yeah, Tracer is not going to get hit, but we're still going to get hit in the head with the right click, so that does more damage. Now they reduce the spread, so we're going to take even more damage. And now the reduction on whatever his teleportation thing, so he gets behind you faster. Yeah, F you, Overwatch. all the tank players are going to quit even more now. What the heck?
The devs comment that with the previous patch change to how armor reduces damage, shotgun weapon heroes like Reaper lost some value since much of their game plan revolved around pressuring large tank heroes. I disagree, but to help shift Reapers towards being more effective against smaller targets, we're tightening the weapon spread on the Hellfire shotguns and reducing the amount of time enemies have to react to a Shadow Step teleport. Sojourn's rail primary fire, the SMG is going to...
Okay, they needed to nerf Sojourn, so hopefully... Oh, this is a buff? Oh, yeah, great, man. We really needed some buffs to Sojourn. One-shotting you across the map. Primary fire shots increase 14 to 16.
Shoot a lot faster now, from 14 to 16 shots per second. However, the secondary fire damage, the rail shot, the scaling is going to be reduced from 30 to 130 down to 1 to 100.
Oh, wait, that's...
The rail shot can now pierce enemies. It's no longer bound to just overclock, the ultimate. Speaking of overclock, the energy charge rate is going to be increased from 100 to 120 per second. The devs comment that this change is reducing the burst damage potential of the secondary fire rail shot to both lessen the frustration from playing against that burst damage and to shift power into her sustained primary fire damage. This should smooth out the feast or famine nature of Sojourn, consistently hitting the secondary fire shots. For Symmetra, her base health...
Okay, honestly, I do like those changes. I was scared that they were just gonna... That left click buff was just gonna be, you know, in addition to everything else. So at least I'm nerfing the right click. Takes away a lot of the burst damage. But yeah, so you still... Yeah, I think it's a good change to Sojourn, because you're still strong with the left clicks now. But then right click is just like a good secure kill rather than, oh, they're full health. Yeah, I'm just gonna go one tap them. Like, taking away one shots in the game definitely make the game feel better. So yeah, I'm all for that.
Is going to be increased from 100 to 125, so that means her total health is going from 250 to 275. 125 of it is white HP, 150 of it is shield health. The charge rate of her photon projector primary fire, the beam, is going to be increased by 25%. The devs comment that to help solidify Symmetra as a close range threat, we're increasing her health to better survive in that range, along with how quickly her primary fire beam damage ramps up.
To be honest, boys, some quick thoughts on what the meta is going to be. Since they're going in order, right? Malga is not even touched. They buffed Reaper. They buffed Symmetra. They buffed Mei. And they didn't touch Malga. So it's gonna, to me, it's looking like it's gonna go back to that god-awful Malga, Reaper, Mei, Reaper, Symmetra, Mei, Symmetra, like, just bulldoze together and run into them. And that is not going to be very fun. Yeah, like them buffing those characters, just nobody, it's gonna be not a very fun meta to play in. Because then with them nerfing like Cass and everything, that was like a counter to, you know, these characters when they're pushing in. So like they nerf those, now they have like a small buff to that. Yeah, it's gonna be something. So we'll see the rest of these, but right now I'm not looking too happy as a, you know, high ranked player going into this patch.
Illari, the healing pylon healing per projectile is going to be increased from 30 to 40. However, the pylon healing is now only half as effective when targeting Illari, so it heals 40 for a teammate and only 20 on herself. The max health of the pylon is going up from 100 to 125.
Pylon health buffs?
The outburst damage is going to be increased from 10 to 25. The devs comment that Illari's healing pylon is intended to be useful for healing her team in relatively safe positions without much focus required, which enables her to either apply pressure with her primary fire or spot heal in bursts from her more limited secondary fire healing beam. To encourage this, it now has improved health and healing output, but is less effective when Illari uses it to heal herself. For Kiriko, the protection Suzu...
I do like that. Every Illari player always just used it on herself in the far back, never for teammates. I guess that, like, the health buff is kind of insane, because before you could just two-shot it as Sigma. Now with the buff, I don't know if you can still two-shot it. Somebody will have to let me know. Or I guess we'll find out in game. But if you have to, like, do a whole nother shot cycle on it, that's kind of a lot. I thought, like, because before they had it too much, and then they nerfed it down, and they buffed it a little bit. So, like, two-shot, I think, is, like, fair. If they put it back to, like, 3 or 4 shots, then that's kind of a lot for, you know, you shooting a pylon. But, yeah.
No longer cleanses hard knockdown stuns. Swift Steps cooldown's also going to be increased from 7 to 8 seconds. The devs comment that the hard knockdown stuns refers to almost all the existing knockdowns where the player is stunned and laying on the ground, such as Ryan's Earth Shatter, with the exception of Ana's Sleep Dart effect, which is removed upon taking damage or protection Suzu's cleanse. For maps,
okay, so the hard CC is just Reinhardt Shatter because there's no other hard knockdowns other than Shatter, right? So that's just a small Reinhardt buff to Suzu. Sigma Rock, Maga Slam. I mean, Doom Ult just lands on your ass, right? I mean, if you're getting punched into a wall. Yeah, I don't know what hard stun determines. 2 rounds charging each other. So it's just any little, like, knockdown, because Doom's just a stun into a wall. That's not technically a knockdown. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, it's a nerf overall to Kiri. But I'd say for the most part, Kiri was just using her ulti, or the Suzu, to, like, stop you know, wake people up from, like, a sleep or something. I'd say very rarely, I guess because Ryan wasn't meta, did you use it to, like, cleanse somebody from a stun rather than to save them from the shots after getting, like, stunned, right? Like, if you got stunned by Doomfist into a wall, if you Suzu them, even though if they doesn't get stunned anymore, they're still going to be invulnerable to that extra damage, which gives them a time to get out. So I don't think it's that big of a nerf to Kiri's overall, like, gameplay, right? There's, like, small niches that it is, but I mean, the main use of it was for, like, anti and stuff like that when you'd play Mauga, JQ, all that stuff. So I don't think it's too bad. The TP going up a second definitely hurts, because 1 second is a lot in a FPS game, but I mean, yeah, it's like a relatively, like, it's not super game break changing for, you know, the Kiri.
New push map is out called Runasapi,
hey, new
which
map.
Is high up in
bunch
the Peruvian
of colors,
Andes.
very colorful.
It's where Illari grew up in the lore, and it's going to be available in both quick play and ranked on day 1.
Wow, day 1 ranked. Yeah, man, that's gonna be great. I can't wait to play this match in comp and not know where the hell I'm going. I'm gonna be running the opposite way, trying to find a health pack when the point is the other way. Run into a dead end. Yo, round of applause, man. Really love having new maps in competitive for day 1 ranked. That sounds like a very top tier esports ready thing to do. So, yep. All right. That's that. Yep. I can't wait for that one.
Good luck, gamers. Colosseo is getting a huge rework. They removed the glass and they added stairs at that first checkpoint area for additional pathing and combat opportunities.
Honestly, I think that them removing this is pretty good. It sucks for supports, right? Because before you'd be playing, like, the corners and you didn't have to worry. People had to go on, like, crazy flanks, so you could actually, like, just jiggle peek the corner and see if somebody was coming up on you. Now with the opening here, it gives a lot more room for, like, tracers and other type of, like, flanker characters ventured to kind of, like, dumpster you. So it's definitely a nerf to supports, and you have to be a lot more careful where you position. But But I think for this map overall, it's gonna make it a lot more fluid and not just like choke point heavy. There's a lot more like variety on how you can engage these fights rather than just a long, straightforward fight waiting for like Sojourn or Widow to get a pick. So I definitely think it's better overall, just a lot harder on the support lineups.
Thank you, Spylo, for this legendary clip. Your complaints were definitely heard.
Remove the glass! Remove it! Gold games, they don't know how to play this. And gold games, we have stalemates here. When the gold players don't know what to do, and the Overwatch League players don't know what to do, there's a common theme. It's the map, right? It's the map. I'm so tired.
Anyways, for the second checkpoint, they extended the area here with a small back lowered section and a mega health pack. They added an additional route through this building that connects to the second checkpoint. And finally, the initial spawn building has been pulled back slightly, and there's a piece of cover in the front.
Oh, piece of cover.
The push game mode changes.
So now you can at least stall out the end checkpoint a little bit more, have a little spot to like throw a nade, hide behind it. I mean, okay. You know, Widow has another little block to shoot sightlines very far away. I feel like that's going to make it harder to cap third point, which capping third point on pushes were already hard because the spawns were so close. So I feel like it's going to be, that just makes it that much harder to cap a push game mode. And it's going to go like the full 10 minutes, but I guess we'll see.
They're reducing the match time from 10 minutes to 8 minutes in quick play, and the push robot speed is going to be increased by 10% when pushing the barricade for both quick play and competitive, so these matches will hopefully go a little bit quicker. For hero mastery, they added Kiriko and
them at least pushing it faster, at least that will help the games end a little bit faster from the spawns being so close, because if it's pushed a little bit faster, the spawns or the timers are still the same. At least like the stalling is going to be down at least that little bit more. So I think that's a good change. Okay, yeah, nobody I think ever did hero masteries. Anybody in the chat do hero masteries?
Soldier 76 to the roster, so practice your skills, get some cool times, and earn some rewards.
Wow.
There's going to be a new community-made arcade mode available from June 20th to July 9th with balance.
I think I haven't done the soldier one, right? But if they, I'm just gonna keep saying it till they do this. They should make all those hero mastery things like in the mind of like, okay, what's every type of like movement ability, like tech that this character needs, or like special tech that they have, right? That people have found to get people to do that stuff, right? So with Reinhardt, have him, oh, you have to charge space, you know, jump at the end, so you go a little bit further. Oh, with Soldier, you're gonna have to rocket jump over something to shoot somebody, because like a lot of people in like the lower elos have no idea that you could like, you know, do a little jump tech with Reinhardt after the charge to go a little bit further. You know, you can rocket jump, right? With Soldier, Zarya, with Winston, you can still do jumps at the end. You have like a ghost punch at the end of your primal, so you can still hit people when you have your gun out at the end of it, right? There's like so many little like things with each of the characters that like nobody's gonna know about, but if you just put them into those hero masteries, then I think it's like, you know, good, and people will just learn everything for those characters, because otherwise it's just like, oh, shoot this target here, shoot this target here, hey, do that. Like that is kind of boring and doesn't really teach you anything
changes
other than just like a Kovacs.
TQQ, Custa, and SK with wacky changes like a jumping Ana, a Hanzo scatter arrow, and Orissa's old.
Who brought back scatter arrow? Who did it? Who the frick did it? Who brought back scatter? Don't you do this? So first of all, they're making all the tank busters back. Now they're giving Hanzo a scatter, so I'm not even safe in arcade mode. Nice, man. No matter where I go, tanks are getting bullied. Great, man. Gotta love it. Love Overwatch as a tank player. Can't wait to play it more.
Halt ability from
We're going to Elden Ring. That's out, right? As of 8 minutes ago, I think Elden Ring DLC is released. I guess it's time to go die 20,000 times to the new bosses, and that would be a lot more fun than getting scatter arrowed for all my health. May Frozen and Reaper minus spread shotgun to the face.
Overwatch 1. I'll have a full video showcasing these changes pretty soon. For cosmetics, there's lots of Japanese tokusatsu themed skins. We have the Calamity Empress Ash Mythic.
Okay, the other ones, meh. This one I think looked good. The Dino skins looked pretty solid.
Or pool and beach skins. The Mythic.
Okay, those beach skins look pretty good. Yeah, and Mythic Reinhardt. How much is this one? Have they released that? How much the hammer is?
Rhine weapon, and of course the return of Pink Mercy along with the Rose Gold Mercy.
Also, Pink Mercy, W's in the chat. Hey, let's go. Everybody go buy Pink Mercy. Good cause. Everybody that's selling their accounts for thousands of dollars are in shambles now that everyone can now buy it. So, unlucky, man. Should have sold it for cheaper, I guess. Smiley face.
Bundle with 100% of the purchase price going to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. Yay for boobies and booby cancer. The money's going for a good cause. And that's it for the season 11 overview. Come to my stream at twitch.tv/KarQ this season and watch to earn the Letter of the Wind spray, cute rose gold Mercy icon, and the Nihon Hanzo epics.
Oh, okay, yep, there you go. Nice. I mean, skin, not that really good. I like player icons. Those are always nice. I don't think I've ever used any of the sprays for anything in this game, so that kind of useless, but yeah, there you go. There's all the changes for season 11. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about all those. I definitely think that it's going to be like a Reaper, Sim, May, Malga, back to that type of not very fun meta. Just for a quick opinion, of course I haven't played anything yet, we're just looking at the changes before getting in. But it's going to be the quick opinion. Lucio still going to be super strong in those. So like Lucio Kiri probably. Zenana could also like works with like the Malga comp. And you just full on counter the heck out of them. But yeah, so the balances weren't too much. We'll see. I like the skins. New push. Payload map inside the thing, you know, I guess we'll see if it's good enough to keep people coming back to Overwatch. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the YouTubes, and till next video. Peace.